It's Sunday, April 3rd, and the Super Bowl of professional wrestling just happened. We're here to cover it at AfterBuzz TV right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Air guitar.
What are you
talking about?
Pretty good, George.
It was Guitar Hero. It's just
Tanahashi.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's special edition. Keep that music going for just a second. It is really good. The special edition covering WrestleMania 32, Dallas, Texas. It just happened. And for April 3rd, 2016, let's introduce you to our panel. First, my man all the way on the left here, Mr. George Hermoza.
I got my WrestleMania 22, jersey on.
And it looks good.
And yeah. You know what is funny? I found this. I'm not even kidding. I found it. You can follow me on Twitter, Ghermoza, Ghermoza. But I'm not alone.
He is not alone, folks. Another resident to AfterBuzz, somebody who actually works behind the scenes as a producer, and again, the visionary of Southern California professional wrestling through the lens, my man, the Jimbo Slice.
You're so good with intros. You should make a career out of this.
Yeah, I should try that someday. Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter at the Jimbo Slice. That's TheJimboslice.
And if you didn't hear him, he has two E's.
Yeah.
The Jimbo Slice.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, before we get to our guest, another member of our panel, the lovely, and I worked together on Raw a couple weeks ago, Markeia McCarty, not McCarthy, don't get it wrong.
Yeah, and y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's at Markeia McCarty, MarkeiaMcCarty. Hey, y'all.
All right. Now let's go ahead and let's fade that music down just a little bit real quick, because now I want to get serious about a very, very special guest we have today here at AfterBuzz. Someone I am personally excited to have here. I know we are all excited to have him. A professional wrestler, a celebrity in the scene of professional wrestling. You've seen him on TNA as Mason Andrews. You've seen him in WWE as Harold in the anger management segments with Daniel Bryan. My man, my best friend, my client, Mr. Scorpio Sky.
How you doing?
Yes, sir.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Studio
Anybody that wants to follow me at Scorpio Sky on Instagram and Twitter.
They all follow
Scorpio
you already,
Sky.
dude. It's already going down.
Then I'm happy to be here. That's it.
There you go.
Nice,
Scorpio
welcome.
Sky is going to give us a really cool outlook from a professional wrestler's, his input, his insight as the day goes on, and we're going to cover WrestleMania, but we got to get to it right away because we have so much to cover. Today's show.
7 hours to cover.
7 hours.
It's like a work shift.
Just start off really with that. What'd you think, George? 7 hours too long?
Dude, I thought it wasn't long enough.
Okay.
I mean, me being the huge wrestling fan that I am, and there's always that feeling when WrestleMania ends, you're like, oh, it's over. Oh no.
I feel you on that.
It's like right around 6 o'clock, you're like 2 hours left, you're good, but then 7 o'clock, you're like, oh my god, it's the last hour. This is it, the last hour. But then turns out we had 2 more hours.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was pretty good.
Man.
Yeah, what about you, Keith?
I felt physically exhausted, and I did nothing but sit there and watch it.
Yeah.
I was like, how do they do this? How do they do this? How do they do this? How?
It's magic.
Is it magic?
Yeah, tell us what your thoughts are real quick. We have so much to get to, but I want to ask you, a 7-hour show, man, if you're on last, aren't you just the whole time waiting and
are you
thinking, are you overthinking? What's
are you at the bar or something ahead of time, and then you just plan it out?
No, it's all in the build, and if the fans are there, it's a completely different story if they're tired and you feel the energy being sucked out of the crowd, but we didn't see that.
Yeah.
As long as the energy is there in the crowd and people are enjoying themselves, it gets you more and more excited. The only hard thing about it is the waiting, because you can't wait to get out
But
there.
especially now that SummerSlam is maybe it's going to be permanently 4 hours. Now it's like, well, now WrestleMania might be having to be a little bit longer than SummerSlam. So it kind of differentiates WrestleMania from everything else too.
So you mean more time means more importance? Couldn't they condense it a little bit more?
I don't know.
If something's longer, it's more important. Never tell the Oscars that.
Yeah, the Oscars probably the only show longer than this 7-hour WrestleMania we just watched.
I think it was too long.
You think it was too long?
You need bathroom breaks and time to get merch and time to get food.
Undertaker's entrance, bro.
Oh man!
See, I was waiting for
you
a
could
music
cut
performance.
out some of the video segments, and they definitely need people like the Usos and Kalisto should have been on the main card.
Yeah,
and not on the pre-show
Right.
because of playing the same vignette we've seen the last 4 weeks leading up to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, even though they may have gone a little in on the vignettes and everything, I've always been a fan of WWE vignettes. It's one of the reasons
I love
why
it. They're great.
But yeah, we saw them 30 times, and but let's get right to the show. Let's talk about the first match because this actually was my favorite match in the entire card. Well, because I just felt like they started off with such a bang. And of course,
real quick, are you talking about the ladder match or the Kalisto Ryback match?
Do you want to cover the pre-show?
Let's
too?
just cover the pre-show.
Okay, let's cover the pre-show.
So go to the
because it looks
pre-show.
like Skylar was like, yes.
So in the pre-show we had first we had Ryback and Kalisto. And tell us about what you saw in that match and your thoughts on that one, George.
Well, I mean, I thought it went exactly how I thought it'd be. I know I picked Kalisto to win. Obviously, Ryback, the bullying type, as you're pretty familiar with Ryback being a bully. It's on YouTube, guys. It's on
he still has
too,
the handprint.
Yeah, humiliates local competitor. Fine.
So, I mean, how was it for you seeing, Ryback getting his and actually losing to Kalisto?
Yeah, it's fine, man. I think Kalisto's one of the biggest talents. I think Sky and I worked with him at Lucha Vavoom a few years ago when he was touring and doing LA. So, really humble guy, good guy. And to see Ryback go down, it's fine.
It's a good story too. I thought little guy obviously beating the big guy, but I mean it went exactly how I thought it'd be. I mean the guys. I mean I love Kalisto's outfit. Obviously WrestleMania, a lot of cool, unique.
All the outfits tonight, awesome stuff.
We'll get into it a little bit more because there were some beautiful, gorgeous outfits.
And those costume designers went above and beyond.
They did, absolutely. Any other thoughts on this match, Jimbo? Do you want to offer a thought on Ryback Kalisto? What'd you see from this match, man?
I gotta look at my notes. Give me a second.
Yeah,
okay.
we can all wait.
While he does
fine.
that, I absolutely loved Kalisto's Saul that he landed with this on Ryback. I was just like, wow, that was just beautifully executed.
Sure.
I expected it, but it was like. It's like if you're reading a really good book and you just know that these two characters are going to have this battle royale and one of them's going to win, and it's just this beautiful culmination.
Yeah.
And I actually really enjoyed that. I like seeing the underdog. And I think Kalisto was the underdog with this.
Yeah.
Get his own.
Sure. I loved Ryback's gorilla press, walk up the steps, throw you in the ring, and then when he just gorilla pressed him and just let him fall.
Yeah,
that was
just
great.
Dumping him in the ring.
And
Yeah,
Kalisto did a nice running knees off the ring apron to the outside.
Yeah,
it was really good.
So both guys impressive. A really good match. I think Ryback has a long way to go in terms of really sort of owning the new character that he's embraced. But this was a good segment and a good statement for that being a possibility. And then we saw the 10 women Divas match. It was the Divas match. We had the 10 women Divas match, and it may be the last time we even call it something like that, right?
Yeah.
We'll get to that later, which was awesome. We may change the name or talk about that later. But what did you guys think of the Divas match? Was it a few weeks ago we were talking about maybe it being kind of a cluster? Is that what you guys saw from the Divas match?
No, I thought it was really good. My favorite was probably Paige and Natty hitting the heart attack.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
And I loved when everyone got their big move, and they all got their shit in.
I like that. I still kind of felt like it was a fun mess, which is what me and George were talking about it on SmackDown the other day. But I love that they were really good with highlighting. Yeah. We saw Lana's debut. We saw those high kicks.
Yeah. She had great gear too.
The mocking yes chant. Yeah, she did. I liked the look.
And Eva Marie, what were the thoughts on Eva?
She embraced the hatred well.
She did it well.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was hosting a party today. I didn't get a chance to see the pre-show. It's probably one of the reasons I tried to skip right over it. But yeah, that's good insight on all that stuff. I know Sky missed it too because we were partying together per usual.
I will say this: if anybody goes back, look up the way Bree set up the yes lock.
Okay,
it was an absolute thing of beauty.
Nice.
Nothing I've ever seen Daniel Bryan even do. Just this rolling Naomi into and hooking on the yes lock.
Definitely working with Robbie Brookside.
Oh my god!
And let's catch up fans on who won. What was who went over who on the
Bree won with
that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Team Total Divas.
Nikki actually came down with the neck brace and everything.
Wow.
And kind of obviously, we all know about Brie Bella. She's probably her last match. So yeah, kind of a nice little swan song for her.
Yeah, a lot of rumors talking about whether Brie Bella will be leaving the company to join her husband Daniel Bryan and start a family, start a new life. And if she does, we wish her the best.
Yeah, next chapter.
Yeah. Let's move on to the final piece of this pre-card that we had here, which, this is my favorite tag team in the business right now. Their father was my trainer at Knox Pro a few years ago. It's a great school in Southern California if you want to look it up. Of course, I'm talking about the Usos and their battle with
The Dudley Boys.
The Dudley Boys. And, I mean, you're taking two awesome wrestlers, old school, tough dudes who really beat the crap out of you. That's the kind of stuff I'm entertained by. And then you put them in with these young bucks who are flying all over the place, and they're no slouches. These guys can hit, too, you know.
Yeah.
Well, not the young bucks. Damn. They take all the words, man. What'd you guys think? I know, Sky, we watched that match. What'd you think about the tag match, man?
I thought it was great. I started my career as a tag team wrestler. I grew up loving tag team matches. And so I thought this was perfect. I love the Dudley Boys. I love the Usos. I know you said that they're your favorite tag team. My favorite tag team is obviously the Young Bucks. Years ago, I got to see, I was privileged enough to see the Usos face the Young Bucks backstage at WWE.
Oh, backstage.
I don't even know if there are any cameras rolling, but it was a fantastic match.
Really?
Oh, I'm sure.
Just something they just went in and did. And I didn't have a lot of experience with the Usos at that time, but I saw them and I was like, wow, these guys are awesome. They're going to be one of the best.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty
So
Nice.
I really enjoyed that match.
Dang,
obviously.
man, you should have put like your cell phone out and just like in your top pocket and just, you know,
Yeah, that would've
sold that
gotta
to
be-
TMZ.
That story is told on this DVD by Kurt Hawkins, who was watching.
Oh, wow.
as well.
Sweet.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know that existed.
So Kurt Hawkins tells a story on a DVD about the same thing Sky's
About
talking
Usos and Young Bucks
Versus Young
wrestling
Bucks.
and him starting
Oh,
like
wow.
a slow clap
Wow.
afterwards. He also talks about you and Joey wrestling the Young Bucks backstage at WWE.
Yeah, that was really funny because every time, this was before the style that you see on television now, which is a little bit more of an indie style that people enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at that time, anytime someone got a practice match or a tryout match, everyone would try to do the WWE style. So Joey Ryan and the Young Bucks and I, we got together and we just said, you know what, let's just go out and do what we do.
Yeah.
Let's go do a PWG match. And we hit everything. And it was like, Bob, and we're like looking or seeing jaws dropping, like, what are these kids doing? But everyone clapped at the end. Everyone enjoyed it. And the other three guys became stars, and I'm right here.
You're a star.
You're a star on AfterBuzz TV, my
You're
man.
with us.
No, I didn't mean it that way.
Not only that, man, you're a two-time Heritage champion at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
No.
You were Mason Andrews. We'll get out to all of that. We're going to talk about all of this today, but you're certainly a star in my eyes. I call him the celebrity of professional wrestling, but it's just me.
I'm not a YouPorn sponsor.
You're not a YouPorn
Yeah, Joey
sensation.
Ryan, if you guys don't know, is the guy
Sorry.
who does the flip with his crotch and other wrestlers flip. So if you haven't seen that, it was incredibly viral. Take a look. And that's a good friend of ours, too.
The thing I didn't like about this match was they didn't have WrestleMania gear. Neither of the tag teams. It was like what they normally have been wearing, like on every
Nice
show that they've been
catch.
doing, and it was like the same match you've seen on every show. And the big thing was when they teased the 3D on the tables and then they got reversed to do the double splash. The fans hated it. They were
Yeah.
like, "No, we want to see
Yeah.
a 3D through the table."
Yeah,
That's what they
I had
wanted.
about 15 people at my place, and everybody was also reacting that same manner. So,
People want to see everything that you have at WrestleMania, so it would have been nice if they could have worked that in somehow.
Like
but,
maybe one table for a 3D, and then the other Uso like knocks one out. The other
Right.
one goes on the table, and then they do a splash on the other one, so everyone goes home happy.
absolutely,
You know,
right, yeah.
like something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
bring your A game because it is the game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For our AfterBuzz fans who want to go home happy, we have to keep moving because we are like, I mean,
Yeah.
we're 30 minutes into a 7-hour show. So here we go. Let's talk about the opening of the show. It was a cool rendition of America the Beautiful, Beautiful by Fifth Harmony. These girls are beautiful. They were singing their hearts out. It's always funny in these sports events to see who is like, you know, who does the national anthem, if they can kill it or not. And these girls killed it. It was awesome. Good. And then there's a little opening promo. This one really made me.
I always love these promos.
Man, like I had goosebumps. So it was the voiceover, and all it is like stock footage of old WWE. And there's it starts with Muhammad Ali, and then you see Andre the Giant, you see Ultimate Warrior, you see, and I mean that thing just set
I
the
think
tone
they
for
said
WrestleMania.
Kelsey Grammer did the voiceover.
Oh,
for
and
it,
that would
I
make
think.
sense. Yeah. I mean,
Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, Kia, did it set the tone for you as well? I mean, did you feel that?
Yeah, no, you get like the sense of history, and that's what they're going for.
Right.
This isn't just an isolated, event that happens in a vacuum. It has all of this other stuff that happened behind it that had to happen. All of these things, all of these people that had to come together just for this to be brought to you in this particular way. So yes,
I totally
they did
agree. Yeah, and
gorgeously.
it creates a prestigious perception for WWE. It makes it feel really important and really special. And with 101,000 people at this stadium, that was a statement.
Record-breaking.
I mean, incredible.
Yeah.
Imagine how many people they could have fit if they didn't have a giant stage.
Yeah.
You know, like if the stage wasn't that ridiculously big, because you were there last year.
Yeah.
The stage was pretty big
The
last
stage
year.
is
The stage this
huge.
year was way bigger. I mean,
Although-
everything's bigger than Texas, right?
Yeah, in
You
their
know?
defense, though, they needed that big stage last year because Rusev came out on a freaking tank.
Yes, he did.
So
Oh man, when
Yes,
we
he
get,
did.
I got something to talk about entrances when we get there. But continue.
Yeah. So let's continue. So we have the IC title match to start off, and again, this was my favorite match. This match to me, it was like what I wanted when the entrances were happening. Was I said to myself, I really hope Zack Ryder does something tonight to sort of earn his job for another 10 years, because it's just he's been forgotten about by the company a little bit, and I think all of us who are sort of internet fans and keep up with wrestling and stuff like that, we loved when he turned himself into a superstar in 2009 and 10 on the internet, just tweeting and doing YouTube videos. Tonight we wanted Zack Ryder to do something cool, and he did.
I know a lot of people were upset. They were like, "Oh, obviously all the indie crowd is like, oh, it should have been Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in a one-on-one match." And I'm okay trading that in for getting guys like Zack Ryder to get his. Obviously, we'll talk about it in a second about getting to hear his theme music. Zack Ryder, this guy, right? You even got the shirt on right now.
I wore that shirt all day
Because obviously a lot of people saw his interview like after he announced the match at WrestleMania. He's like, "Dude, I got to hear my WrestleMania theme song coming up," and he was like in tears. And I'm like, man, like that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
Like, and as much as it's real to us, it's still real to them too.
Yeah.
This isn't just some dog and pony show. This is like real life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like when you think about the Divas, you think about Zack Ryder, where it's like this is a culmination of their life that just happened, and that happened today.
Being in the crowd at MSG WrestleMania 10 for Razor and Shawn in a ladder match. So kind of coming this full. I hope it's not over. It's like I hope he still has a long career ahead of him. But yeah.
I was telling my friends, for Owens and Zayn, them just being at WrestleMania and getting to stand in the same ring and face off against each other, that was their moment.
So cool.
This was his.
And
he needed that validation of like, yeah, we'll give you the IC title because you deserve it. Like, you made yourself a star and we weren't ready to push you that far yet, so we gave you the United States belt just to shut people up, and then we put you on the back burner, but you've been busting your ass in the gym. You look great. You got the skills. We'll give you a chance to run with the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to ask our guest Scorpio Sky about his opinion of seeing Zayn versus Steen versus the field in that match. These are guys you've wrestled with at PWG. These are guys you've worked with for years. To see them come in, what do you think it meant to them, and what did it mean to you to watch the independent circuit of professional wrestling finally make it into the WWE main event?
It's great to see. For me personally, the guy to watch in this match was Sami Zayn. He's an incredible worker, and I really wanted to see after that incredible match. I'm going to use incredible probably 20 times. After that match he had with Nakamura, I wanted to see how he was going to follow that up and how he was going to cap that off on the biggest stage of all. And I thought he went in there and he did a great job. I thought everybody worked very hard in the match. I'm a big fan of multi-ladder match, multi-competitors in a ladder match. So I don't mind not having that one-on-one match. We're going to see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for years to come.
I agree.
This was a great match to have for WrestleMania.
I mean, you look at going back to guys like Rock and Triple H and Austin. You look at their first WrestleMania match and look at Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. It's okay that this is their first WrestleMania match. There's many, many years to come.
Yeah.
They might main event WrestleMania 35 or 36. I'm okay with the future for what the match that happened. I was perfectly fine with it.
And what a great showing for this match. I mean, Sami Zayn diving through that ladder. Sin Cara versus Gravity versus Stardust versus a ladder.
Love Stardust's outfit too, though.
Can we
talk about the ladder?
The ladder.
Can we talk about just the tribute?
To Dusty.
The tribute to Dusty.
The Dusty tribute.
Yeah, I mean,
so classy.
So classy. I mean, if you didn't see it, Stardust had the yellow polka dots. That's his late father, the great Dusty Rhodes, who passed away just last year. An homage to him, and I thought it was so cool. And I just love Cody's passion, or Stardust's passion. And with his dad passing away. And Sky, you can speak to that. I mean, you in last year. I have to bring this up because me and you were best friends, and so I'm going to talk about it. But you lost your parents, both of your parents, in 1 year. Talk to us about what it's like to wrestle and have an amazing triumphant moment like Cody did tonight with the polka dots and the spots that he was producing and how cool it was. And can you relate to that at all watching that?
Well, it's like they say, great athletes perform better under pressure. And I remember when I was at my mother's funeral, someone told me, living a great life is your tribute to them. Now we're going back to Cody, putting those polka dots on, going out on the grandest stage of them all. Again, and having a great performance. What better tribute can you give to your father that did it himself?
Yeah, great tribute. We saw some great spots in this match. We saw, as Kia talked about, Zayn diving through all things, right?
Just straight through.
I thought the Zack Ryder elbow from the top of the ladder.
The elbro.
The elbro. Super sweet elbro.
That springboard from Sin Cara.
He tried to do the Nick Jackson, but he didn't pull it off as good. Nick Jackson did that.
Yeah.
In PWK. I think that's where they got it from.
I thought it was fantastic. I love that springboard. I'm glad Sin Cara didn't hurt himself.
It seemed like he went through everyone's arms. They all went like this, and he just
After all the ladder matches we've seen, to still be able to see things that you haven't seen before is really a testament to these guys. You have to respect what they do.
Oh, I totally agree. And then I have to mention the Owens bump, that final bump he took before it became Miz and Ryder at the top. I think it was like a DDT into the ladder where he just let his body sit in between the rungs
the half
of the
and
ladder.
Half?
Yeah. What was it?
It was
James,
a half
explain.
full Nelson, half tiger suplex.
Okay, into that ladder.
Yeah.
So nasty. Everyone thinks he's dead. He's a super talent. I enjoyed it. And then we see cocky Miz. And is Miz going to get the Intercontinental title again? He's cocky and he's on top of the ladder. And your boy...
Oh, man.
And so
that man is worth his weight in gold to WWE, because that was gorgeous.
Oh, and speaking of being worth his weight in gold, Kia, was that the best gear in WrestleMania? I thought that's gear of the day for me. Gear of the day went to the Miz with his gold robe. I thought it was so fly, man.
That's hard to decide.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was the best gear.
I want you guys to all rack your brains, and everyone at home, I want you guys to tweet us, tweet at AfterBuzz, tweet at all of us in the room, talked about what you thought your favorite gear of the day was. Mine was Miz. Maybe you guys will give me an answer before we're done here. But let's move on. Now we got Y2J.
Real quick before I go to the next match,
please.
I think it was so great how you have somebody like going back to Zack Ryder, where his big thing was like, dude, now I get to hear my music during my entrance. Well, guess what? You got to hear it during the entrance and at the end of the match.
Right.
And his dad came in the ring.
Like, it was such a special,
good.
Nothing taken away from his TLC when he won the US belt.
Yeah.
But dude, at WrestleMania in a ladder match, like you hear
a little bit of an awkward moment, George, when his dad put his hat on him.
Yeah, he's like, take the hat.
He's like, I want to look cool for my moment. I don't want to wear it.
Don't ruin it, Dad.
But
I wonder if he was trying to do like the Beyond the Mat Terry Funk thing, where like Dory Funk takes his hat off and puts it on Terry's head, and he's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, don't put that on me, bro. All right. So moving on, guys. Y2J versus AJ Styles, a match that I was looking forward to, a match that delivered. Both of these guys, AJ's up in age at 37, 38 years old. Y2J up in his mid-40s. These guys wrestling like they're 25. Right?
What an entrance for AJ.
Yeah, and
pyro. Oh man.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, elaborate more on that. I mean, with the pyro and the feel and everything of the match.
Just, like everything, like it's a spectacle. It really is. Like all the pyro around, like in the way it's set off, and then like the whole like light up stage, and like it looked like his gear was like glowing, like it was like blacklight-esque or something.
How about that gear? Was that jacket the best Jericho jacket you've ever seen?
Oh my God, he definitely pulled out all the stops for this. He was like, hey, I know where I'm going. I know which ramp I'm walking down today, and I know exactly how I'm going to look when I'm doing it. And I'm like, oh.
Speaking of Jericho's gear, he had GOAT on the back of his tights for greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I was like, that's genius.
So good.
Nice.
Genius.
Yeah, greatest of all time on the back of Jericho's trunks. Something Sky noticed at the party. We were all talking about it.
Rocking the shirt.
Yeah, actually, I have goat trunks like written.
Yeah, I wrote that in my notes too.
One thing we saw in this match that was kind of cool was they both kicked out of the finisher. That I think used to be held for the end of the cards, and so we're sort of seeing it now a lot more. What's your thought on that, Hermoza? What's your idea on the idea of like people kicking out of finishers? Is it ruin finishers, or does it escalate the tension of the match?
I think it's more of the latter, especially too now. It gets you a little bit more creative with having to finish the match. Obviously, I mean, I was listening to AJ Styles interview not too long ago. He said, yeah, I mean, if they kick out of the Styles Clash, that's cool. Like, I got 2 other finishers to do,
Absolutely, yeah. And Sky, I want to hear your thoughts on that too, man. When you see these guys kicking out of the finishers, Code Breaker, no kick out, Styles Clash, no kick out. Ultimately, I think we saw Chris win, actually, which I think was a surprise for some of us smart wrestling fans. I think we all thought that he was going to, if you put over Fandango a couple years ago, you're probably going to put over, Styles, because Styles is a former TNA world champ, an awesome wrestler. What are your thoughts on the match, Sky? What are your thoughts on the finishers and all that?
Listen, as far as kicking out of finishers, I like it. If you want to take it and compare it to a fight game, sometimes you're going to knock a guy out with your big right hand, but the way you recover from those shots and keep fighting is by being in the best shape you could possibly be in. So psychologically, it makes sense that these guys are going to get in the best shape of their lives going into WrestleMania, and that is how they are able to take these finishing moves, recover, and kick out. That's just making it make sense.
I'm sold on that explanation. Actually, I think that's really profound, the way that he says that. It's like, it's the biggest day of their careers. I'm not kicking out when you hit me once, but you better kill me. You know what I mean? So
definitely.
Really good stuff there from Sky.
Yeah. That, and get rid of that trump card. We don't need that.
Yeah.
You know, let's go ahead and just go through the other drawers in the toolbox.
Right.
So, yeah.
So does anybody want to offer any other thoughts on this? I mean, you know, Chris Jericho going to the Hall of Fame. AJ probably doesn't need much career in WWE to probably be a Hall of Famer as well eventually. Any other thoughts?
It was a great match. I mean, I probably out of their four, I'd probably like this one the most, especially given the grandest stage of them all. You know, it being in front of 100,000 fans. I mean, yeah, out of the four, I like this one the best. Good.
That's good. All right, let's talk about the next match. Okay, so you have the most entertaining thing since what? I don't even know how to make this
Before
analogy.
we get to that match, we saw a glimpse of our boss, Markeia McCarty, interviewing Zack Ryder with his newly won Intercontinental title.
right.
And Markeia rocking the red bandana on her head. You know what I mean? Like,
Shane McMahon shirt.
Shane McMahon shirt. Like, I thought it was awesome.
I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
I was just like, turned to everybody else with it. I was like, that's my boss.
Yeah, we all in the house too. I started name dropping Markeia. I was like, you know, she's the producer of AfterBuzz, and everyone's like, cool, man, whatever, you know. So, but we did see Markeia do that segment. That was a cool little promo. But moving on to the match, which was League of Nations versus the New Day.
Oh my gosh.
The New Day arrived in a way that, like,
in a Trojan cereal box.
I could not believe that there was massive bootios rolling around.
Yeah.
There was a
It was
picture
filled
of
with bootios.
Noelle Foley with one after the show. She's like, I got a bootio. And someone's like, is that like a donut or a bagel or just like styrofoam painted? The world will never know.
Yeah. That entrance was so cool. Hermoza, what'd you think about the entrance, man?
Oh man, it was epic. Obviously, we've been hearing them about doing a big entrance, so definitely, just when I saw the big box of bootios, I mean, New Day just can't fail at all.
And then when it fell over and they came out dressed like Dragon Ball Z characters, it was just
my
like,
goodness.
oh man.
But no, wait, I had a contention for that. I said that Xavier Woods had the hair, the Super Saiyan hair, but that the gear was Power Rangers.
I thought it was the White Power Ranger at first.
bro.
but then
No, he
everybody's
was
like,
Vegeta.
Kakarot, right?
He was
But then everybody-
Vegeta.
He had the tail and
He was
everything.
Vegeta.
He had the tail.
He was Vegeta.
Okay.
Isn't it Vegeta?
I buy her.
What?
Vegeta?
I don't know.
No, he was Vegeta.
Tomato.
He was Vegeta.
But yeah, I thought the same thing you did. I thought, I was like, dude, that's so White Ranger. And everyone was like, no, that's Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's
So
why he had the
Dragon
hair
Ball
all
Z.
Super Saiyan
That's why
and everything.
Well, yeah, it was almost Super Saiyan. It had to have been blonde. Yeah. So he needed to go Super Saiyan
Stickler
during the
over
match.
here.
Yeah, I think this match went over pretty quickly. I want to just kind of cap that match off because the segment that happened right after it is really where we should spend time talking. League of Nations gets the win, and as soon as they do, they get on the mic. Wade Barrett cuts a cool promo for a few minutes talking about, I don't know, 3 guys who could beat us in the world. We are the best at what we do. And
Can I say real quick, though,
please.
that I totally understand now why it went from a tag team match to a 4-on-3
weird.
to a 3-on-3.
It was initially supposed to be a tag team title match, 4-on-3.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't a title match, and then it can become a 3-on-3 match.
Yeah,
What's
like
up with that?
eventually became
What-
because they
wanted to fit that in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of what you're about to say.
Right, and that's that we heard HBK's music hit, and I became 5 years old all over again. And Sky did too, man.
What was he like?
When Shawn Michaels' music, I am a huge Shawn Michaels fan.
Me too.
It's disgusting. What a big fan I am.
Yeah.
And when his music hit, he walked out in gear. That was the first thing I said. I tweeted about it. I grabbed Christian. I was like, he's in gear. And he's in shape. And he's like ripped up. And I was like, oh
So
my.
ripped.
I was like, is Shawn Michaels about to wrestle at WrestleMania? Like this. That's all I need. That's worth the price. Take my money. Take all of it.
I actually was kind of getting upset a little bit because I'm thinking to myself, like, I was at his retirement match and I kind of like own that. I carry that card around me everywhere I go, and I was afraid, but this wasn't really a sanctioned match. It turned out to be Shawn Michaels making an entrance, and just behind him came Mr. Cactus Jack, Mr. Mick Foley, Mankind, whatever you want to call him. Baby's
everything.
What's with
Mrs. Foley's baby boy.
Baby
Mrs.
boy.
Foley's
Thank
baby
you for
boy.
pulling me out of that one. And then behind him,
Austin.
Yeah.
Mr.
Stone
Dallas
Cold.
316.
that was it.
What?
for me.
That was a great
hold
shirt.
on, no,
What?
What?
Oh,
I've been privileged enough
What?
to see this guy before. You do a great Steve Austin impression.
No,
he
I
does.
don't really.
Oh.
You're gonna put me on
Oh,
the
no, we
spot.
can see
go
this.
ahead.
He's done nothing
Oh,
but
hell,
off
son,
limits.
you're gonna put me on the spot? What? You're gonna really just put me on the spot like that? What? why don't we go out and get ourselves some beer and then some tequila? We'll do AfterBuzz. Oh, hell yeah.
So
Not very good.
that was awesome.
No.
I want to tell a tiny quick story. Sky fought in MMA last year. He, started his career undefeated, and in his first match, he was actually dude had him down, and Sky flipped him around and did an armbar and tapped Kid out. Okay, and right after, someone picks a microphone and interviews him, and he starts like going into a Stone Cold thing on a shoot. And the fans are like, they're out there for blood. These are real MMA fans, and Sky's doing wrestling promos in the ring, getting a ton of heat. It was my favorite thing. Check him out.
I was there.
You were there.
I was there.
Okay, cool.
Ooh.
Sweet.
That, I didn't even plan to do it, man.
Yes chant.
He had a lot of his fans in the crowd, and when they announced that I won, I got some heat. They booed me, and it just, I went back to pro wrestler mode. You see it. You see it happen. You watch the interview, I'm sitting there normal, and then you hear that heat, and I'm just like, I almost did like The Rock. I was just like, are they booing me?
Yeah, he did the neck turn and all that good stuff. Yeah, shout out to U of MMA. Jay Tan is also a host here at AfterBuzz. He's the promoter for U of MMA. Check them out. You can see the fight, see it for yourself. That stunner to Xavier Woods did everything. Can we just talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin for a couple minutes? Like,
oh man,
the whole thing, man.
He danced.
Yeah,
he danced.
He danced.
He did a little shuffle.
Yeah, it was
good. I loved how Foley was just Cactus Jack was just all about it. He was working the hips, pulled out the side. Yeah.
He didn't do the leg
Don't sell Sean short. He had some moves too.
Oh, that's true.
He was moving his butt a little bit.
Sean shaked his
popped
booty.
it out a little.
That was good.
There are many things I love about pro wrestling. One of the things I love is just a good flat out pop. And the pop that Steve Austin got was just flat out epic.
Yeah.
Dallas, Texas, obviously he started in, Dallas, Texas, for it to kind of, I know it's not the end, but just for him to kind of have that full circle WrestleMania moment in Dallas, Texas again, I think is just truly amazing.
I couldn't agree with you more. It was perfect. I think everyone knew when they booked Dallas for WrestleMania that they were definitely going to bring in Steve Austin. How? I don't know that anybody knew, but I don't think we thought he was going to come in there and start firing off on people and giving stunners out, which I thought was awesome.
I'm glad Woods took the stunner too, because he's someone who's grown up such a huge fan, and that's something he could tell his kids forever. I got stunned by Stone Cold at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, and he sold it well too. He popped up and flew 30 feet behind. It was just amazing.
Out of the ring.
I know a lot of people were like, oh, why is Steve Austin stunning one of the guys in the tag team champs? I'm sure Woods was like, dude, I'll take a stunner. Just without even
Yeah.
DTA, don't trust anybody.
Yeah. So let's move on, guys. We want to talk about this match here, and this one deserves some attention. Quick. Yeah, please, Jimbo, talk to us.
So they're doing the beer toast.
Yes.
The three legends doing the beer toast. Foley gets out of the ring and he hands it to Frank the Clown. Do you guys know who Frank the Clown is? He's dating
the
Foley's
luckiest
daughter.
bastard in the world.
He's dating Foley's daughter, and he goes to every wrestling event. He always has the clown wig on and the clown makeup.
Wait, a fan is definitely is dating
He's
Foley's daughter?
A super fan. He's gone to every WrestleMania and every pay-per-view for almost a decade now.
Wow.
And somehow him and Noelle Foley hooked up and started dating, and they're a legit couple. And I just thought it was great. Nice. He rolls out and he's got the beer, and you just see him hand it to Frank the Clown. I was like, I wonder if that's you can marry my daughter kind of thing.
That's awesome.
It's accepting.
So all the fans out there, there's hope.
Yeah.
Maybe
keep coming to the shows. Keep supporting. You might end up with yourself a beautiful wrestling girl.
I was going to say, in a reality show coming from Foley and Papa Foley, and that's going to be on the WWE Network, so look out for that.
Ambrose versus Brock.
Ambrose versus Brock.
Oh, street fight.
I mean, we can go on forever. I want to go down the line here. George, Ambrose versus Brock.
I'm probably in the minority, but was not a fan.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about it.
I just think it was a little too PG for a street fight.
Okay. Yeah, no color.
I mean, not even that. It just I don't know. I just thought the brutality level of it, because we've seen some brutal matches in this PG environment, and I just was not. I mean, I'm not going to get mad because my guy didn't win. I thought Dean was going to win. I've never been that guy. So-and-so didn't win, and I hate the match. I thought the right person won, but
so you were okay with the booking, but you just thought the match was
I'll never diss the booking, but and I just thought that was okay. I thought it was going to be more of Dean Ambrose. Even in a loss, I thought it was going to be him more going over, in a loss. I just thought that maybe he deserved to take more of a beating or something,
Okay. All right. What about you?
Okay, it's WrestleMania. I'm thinking this dude's gonna have a gnarly entrance. He's gonna come out in an ambulance. He's gonna have a straight jacket on. He's gonna be fighting off orderlies.
Yeah.
He just freaking walks out.
Yeah.
In a jean jacket.
Yeah.
Maybe a new kind of shirt. He's got the Suplex City shirt, but it has his logo over it. I was just like, really?
Yeah.
Come on. Match was okay. I wasn't like, holy shit! It wasn't as good as the Taker and Brock at Hell in the Cell. You know,
right?
So.
I liked it when Dean grabbed the bat with the spikes.
Biting it?
Yeah, he starts biting the barbed wire, and then he's like, "Batter up, bitch!" Like,
That part was cool.
I thought that was hilarious. Kia, what's your thoughts on this one?
I enjoyed this match. Okay, I'm sorry you guys didn't have a whole lot of, blood flying and, limbs being shattered and everything.
They wanted the chainsaw to actually come into the match and have Brock's arm missing.
I like that Brock got to Dean Ambrose before he could get the chainsaw started. That's good. That's tension. I like that it started off with a kendo stick instead of the barbed wire bat because it's got to build up. He pulled like 13 chairs out from underneath and keeps on slamming Dean Ambrose on them.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a fun match. This was a good continuation of what they're doing. Could it have been bigger? Yes. Especially once they've already established things like having the ambulance come in and him taking some beatings from Brock. I knew I wanted him to win, but I knew that Dean Ambrose wouldn't win with this because think about every encounter that he's had with Brock Lesnar. He doesn't win, but he doesn't stop fighting. And that's what I liked about this match.
Great point.
Yeah. Sky, a lot of people, they watch these WWE pay-per-views for Brock Lesnar, and I know that you're one of them. I mean, like, you're one of those guys who, you appreciate wrestling, you've been a wrestler for nearly 15 years, and then you see a guy like Brock Lesnar, he's captivated you. Why has he captivated you, and did that continue in his match tonight?
I absolutely love Brock Lesnar. All you have to do is put Brock Lesnar on TV, and I'll watch it. I'll watch Brock Lesnar eat oatmeal. And love every minute. I'll be like, oh, he uses milk instead of water. Okay. Taking notes. But
Heyman in the background.
I love
being
it.
Like,
Paul Heyman, love it. And I really wasn't a Dean Ambrose guy, but he's won me over, honestly, in the last few months. I've really gotten into his character, and I thought the story of this match was great. If you're in a real fight with someone, if you can get to the weapon, you can do some damage if you can get to it. And the whole idea, like you said, Brock Lesnar didn't let him get to the chainsaw or anything else. Brock Lesnar he's a beast. He's a legitimate beast. NCAA champion, UFC champion, WWE champion. I think he's the most legitimate wrestler in history. I wouldn't want to fight that guy.
No.
Yeah.
With weapons.
No, you probably wouldn't want to eat oatmeal with him either. I mean, he'll probably he's so huge, so massive. And I remember one time we were working at SummerSlam 2013, and he was blocking one of the doors of the bathroom, and I just didn't go to the bathroom. That's all I did.
His hands I shook his hand, and it's like the biggest hand I've ever. I mean, it was just like 3 of my. It was so thick and just God, he's huge.
Sausage fingered Brock Lesnar.
Like I said, with weapons, I wouldn't fight him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it.
I think it went exactly realistically how it would have gone for like anything. And no, I wouldn't want him to eat oatmeal because if his heart doesn't give out, nothing else is stopping him. So
yeah. Absolutely. So, all right. So mixed opinions here on the AfterBuzz panel about that match. If you guys have a different opinion, tweet us about it. Tweet AfterBuzz about it. We'd love to hear your opinions on all this stuff. So
and oatmeal.
And would you eat oatmeal with
water,
Brock Lesnar?
milk? With Brock, without Brock.
half brown sugar.
The worst is when you're so tired you put orange juice in your oatmeal. You don't realize it till after you warmed it up.
Nobody does that.
All right, that was just me.
No one does that.
So let's move on to something that I actually thought was a long overdue element to professional wrestling, to the WWE, and it happened tonight. And earlier in the show, we saw one of the most beautiful, most fierce, most awesome divas in WWE history.
She is getting more gorgeous by the year.
How is it possible? And her mic skills are getting better and better, too. She's doing the panel. And we're talking about Lita, of course. Just gorgeous. And she introduces the WWE Women's Championship, effectively ending the run of this idea that women are going to be marginalized and be divas. And I've been so sick of it. I've been a big proponent against it, and finally it happened tonight, and the belt is
no more butterfly belt.
God, that belt.
Rest in peace, the butterfly belt.
I want to hear Kia's take on this as our resident female contributor to AfterBuzz Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
tell us, Kia.
I was so sick of that belt, and I was sick of that belt when it was on AJ, and then like AJ, it actually kind of fit because it was part of her persona. Where it's
skipping
like, okay,
around,
that kind of fits. But then that goes on to and then that goes on to the next diva, and it's like, well, this doesn't work. It barely worked before. And then sitting on Charlotte, I'm like, this is just a travesty. Can we just stop with this? These are actual real athletes. These aren't, was it suntan models that they toss into a ring and make them wear bikinis? It's like, these are athletes. They've put the time in. They've done the training. Damn it, you treat them like they are who they are. And that's what this women's championship belt is. It is fantastic. It is gorgeous.
So beautiful.
And it's rock solid.
Yeah. I just want to, in WWE's defense, there was a time where the women who were cast on the roster were cast because of what they looked like and how pretty they were and all that stuff. That era has ended, and I think they kind of took a little too long to make this change. But kudos to them for doing it tonight. If you haven't seen the belt, it looks like
it looks like a mix of like the old school IC belt when there was like the white IC belt.
Yeah. I actually have a question for you, because you're kind of our, and George, both of you are kind of our resident historians for wrestling.
This is the encyclopedia of wrestling.
So were they correct when Lita said in her promo that it was the first ever women's champion? It wasn't before the Divas title.
I mean, I'm kind of curious. Obviously, it's their company. They can do whatever they want. They can create whatever lineage they want. But yeah, I mean, I'm like, what about before the Divas Championship?
So that was the women's title, right?
Yeah,
so maybe she just misspoke.
Trish and all of them. Yeah, that was the women's title.
Because I mean, is it a new lineage? Are they continuing from the last champ, which was Michelle McCool? Are they continuing from that? I don't know. I guess just tune in and we'll find out. But yeah,
because Lay Cool had the women's belt and then they cut it in half.
But I mean, Michelle McCool was the one that unified the Divas and the women. And then she was that's when they continue with the Divas Championship. But yeah, I think that belt looks prettier than the regular world title.
I agree.
And speaking of the title, George, go ahead and give us your thoughts on the match itself.
Oh my god! First off, like just I get a little emotional at times just because I'm such a huge fan. But I'm not gonna. I got a little emotional for Sasha Banks' entrance, knowing just how much it means to her, and seeing Snoop Dogg come out and just everything about it. Like just knowing, like I'm like, oh my god, this like I said, going back to what I said earlier. Like you can't BS me and tell me wrestling is fake, because all those emotions that they had in that match, whether it's from the crowd or from that's all real.
Yeah,
and the match itself was fantastic.
Yeah, I think for many wrestling fans, a lot of us love wrestling for those moments where the lines are so blurred between what's scripted and how it feels to have your moment finally. I mean, these people work their whole lives. Now you're on the biggest stage, and they all performed. I mean, there was a dive from Sasha.
Oh, yes.
Where it was like she kind of like it came up short a little bit. Super sick dive. I wasn't sure if she was
like a Jeff Hardy tuck.
Cannonball
or like
tuck.
She waits right till the last minute to tuck and flip, dude. Yeah.
Are you talking about when it was like the submission move where Charlotte had Becky and then Sasha just smashed right down?
No, that was the frog splash.
Okay, that one I love.
That frog splash.
That was amazing.
To the outside, she did a tope con hilo.
Yeah.
That was really
So
nice.
talk about that move, Sky. I want to hear a little bit. That dive that Sasha Banks did, was it somewhat of a botch, or what did she mean to roll at the end there?
I don't
she
think
looked
it
like
was
she
botched.
almost died, dude.
Yeah,
It was
I do the same move myself. Actually, what the idea of it is, you want to jump over it as if you're doing a suicide dive, meaning your body is straight.
Okay.
And then last minute you tuck. So you're going to actually arch and then tuck and flip and hit your opponent. And I think that's what she was doing. It looked like she was doing a normal suicide dive, and you're like, whoa, she's going to come up short. And then she flipped last minute and got him. And I thought it was
clean
great.
by the end of it. Yeah,
Charlotte had a very nice dive too, right?
Yeah, when she did the moonsault, like right out of the ring.
Picture perfect.
Oh my God, I just love this where it's just like, oh, submit. I don't think so. And it just kept on going. And oh my God, I wanted to squeeze Ric Flair's head.
I think Charlotte had my favorite entrance gear because they said it was
Because
actually made
she
pieces
made
of
it
Ric
from
Flair's.
Flair's robe.
Yeah.
the robe and the wrestling gear, just so awesome.
And speaking of which, too, Sasha Banks' thing our tribute to Eddie Guerrero.
Yes.
I don't know if a lot of people. I mean, they said it over the commentary, but that's straight up, and that's her favorite wrestler. And I think she on the Jericho podcast said that she was actually there, obviously not knowing that he passed away, but she was actually there on the day where that Eddie Guerrero tribute.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I really liked it. I thought it was a great match. I love the new championship. I love where they're going with it, making it more important. Like I said, I compare things to fighting a lot. And if you look at the UFC, Ronda Rousey is the biggest star. I would like to see eventually the women's championship as the main event of a pay-per-view, because they can do it. I believe they can carry a pay-per-view. They had you stack the undercard, and they had a great match.
Yeah, and just recently, as you said, we did see the NXT element of WWE use the women in the main event, and they killed it. We could see that in the future. I think it may be a little ways away with guys like Brock Lesnar on there. I mean, but I'm hoping that that's the way it goes. The belt is beautiful. The match was good. Charlotte retains, and yet Lillian appropriately announces her as the new women's champion to kind of seal that off.
It looked gorgeous.
I was like, dump that other belt in the trash, dude. Like,
I had mixed emotions about this because I'm sure a lot of us wanted Sasha to win. And then I was talking to my buddy about it, and he's like, well, now Flair's name is attached. Like, it'll always be like Charlotte Flair was the first ever new women's wrestling champion for WWE.
Preach on, brother. Amen. All right. Let's move on, kids. What do we got here? Oh, Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker. I mean, I don't know. This match, and I want to talk about it for a little bit because I just feel like Shane McMahon, first of all, on Raw, he pulled up his shirt and he had abs, okay? And, I noticed these small things, but dude is in really, really good shape for 40 and change or whatever he is, okay? Then we see him destroy The Undertaker on Raw with an elbow off the corner. Did you guys all assume that he was going to jump from the cage today? Because
absolutely,
I did.
I knew he was going to jump from something that was stupid.
Right. Yeah. Did you guys notice that? And so, if you didn't see it, it was that same bump from the top of the cage. Amazing. Ugh. He signed the cross. I want to say 3 or 4 times. It was like he signed the cross,
he was
and then he was like,
and I feel like, is it me or is a Hell in a Cell cage higher than maybe like the Mankind?
I kept saying that. I said the cage just looks so much bigger than it used to be.
Yeah. Well,
I was actually scared for
Texas.
Shane.
Did you guys go to Hell in the Cell in October?
I did not.
No.
Okay, I went and I noticed it was way bigger there than it was, and it had the holes cut in the side for people to climb up, but no one really left the cage at Hell in the Cell.
Right.
So like tonight, I was like, that's the same cell. It's still huge, and I was like, not entirely sure if he'd jump off the top, but I bet $1 that he would, and I won $1.
I bet by the time he climbed up there, he was like, "Oh, damn it!"
That shit was so high.
Well, as I'm sure, our resident pro wrestler right here, Scorpio Sky, can attest to. I mean, that's not something you rehearse, dude. You don't go up there and go, "Let me give this a few tries until I get it right." How do you prepare yourself mentally for that jump? What do you think was going through Shane McMahon's head, Sky?
The only thing I can think of that goes through his head, and I've never taken a bump that crazy. I don't think.
Oh my God.
That's not an everyday thing. But whenever you are going to go out and you're going to do something a little risky, or it's going to take something out of you, I always remind myself, the pain is temporary, the performance lasts forever. And that had to be what Shane McMahon was thinking. He was up there a while, he was looking down, and I mean, put yourself in his position, looking down from way up there. That had to not be easy, but he had to go through it. He knew the performance lasts forever. And all the respect to Shane McMahon, he's not even a full-time professional wrestler. He really put it on the line tonight.
Just brilliant stuff from Shane. I think it was kind of a little bit reminded me of when you see the 3 boys come out with the entrance and his kids are in the front row. It made you think of Mick Foley with his family in the front row. And I think you could make an argument one way or the other on whether his kids should be seeing him jump off the cage like that. But, they're born in this business. Those dudes are those little 3 boys that you guys all saw coming out in the entrance. Those are the next Vince McMahons in 40 years from now. Those are going to be the dudes who are jumping off the top of the cage.
I kind of remember that opening video package of WrestleMania 20 with Vince and Shane kind of holding the next generation of McMahon. I don't know if you guys remember that. The opening of WrestleMania 20.
Oh no!
I remember we're like, where it all begins again, and then they have Vince and Shane, and Shane has probably just had his first newborn,
Declan or whatever the oldest one is. It's gonna be cool to see. I'm such a wrestling fan, and here we are today. We watch them do their little entrance, and they're kind of following Daddy, and they don't really know what's going on, and they're really excited to be there. And those are gonna be the owners of the WWE. I mean, it's just no two ways about it.
Yeah. How sad are you guys that Shane's not taking over WWE Raw?
I don't know. I still think they're gonna, as we've seen with stipulations. I mean, nothing ever sticks.
There's asterisks all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they're gonna find a way. They saw the reaction. They saw the feedback of the WWE universe that we had in the last few months, and I think it's good. They're gonna be like, we need to find a way to kind of keep this going.
Yeah, I think Shane ultimately will get control of SmackDown, and that will boost ratings there. And I'm not sure his contract, if he's going to be back for the long haul or if he was just here to spike WrestleMania, but I see him coming back and having influence. I'm a little... The Authority's been around forever. Are we done with them? I feel a little sick of like the same thing with that. And I was really hoping for Shane to win, and then I kept telling myself, like, am I really rooting against The Undertaker? What's wrong with me?
No one should root against The Undertaker.
Ever, right?
Yeah. I'm still surprised about Brock Lesnar. Not really, but
although the line for me, I love the line after Shane, jumped off and he fell. I don't know if you saw. I popped that Michael Cole said, and I quote, "Oh, for the love of mankind." I got a kick out of that.
That's good.
Sweet.
Nice.
Just a really great match. Undertaker winning with the tombstone. It was cool, man. Everything went really well. I thought there was going to be a run-in or something. It didn't happen.
I love as Shane's getting carted out, he gives like the classic thumbs up, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay, everyone, and everyone claps.
I mean, just to show that he still go. I mean, the coast to coast that he did, or the Van
Coast to Coast.
Not only do I think did he hit it, it looked like he can still go a little bit further.
Oh yeah,
he actually like really hit it.
I think he overshot it a second. He was like, "Oh my god, I jumped too long," and kind of. I thought that was cool.
It was very cool. Just to see Shane in there still doing it, and to know that he loves wrestling and didn't give up on it. Like a lot of rumors were going around over the last half a decade that he was gone and turning his cheek on wrestling. To know that he's going to be there, smart dude. He, the company's in good hands. Right?
In traction, but he'll be there.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, guys. What do we got after that? Was that the Battle Royal after that?
Yeah, Battle Royal.
So Tatanka is back.
Tatanka's in it. DDP is in it. Shaq's in it.
Shaquille O'Neal, Shazam.
Is he in?
And Shaquille O'Neal's
from Texas or something? Why
no.
What?
Well, he might own a house there and
Shaq's
every
not
other
from
state
Texas.
too.
I said, is he from Texas or something? Why was he?
Well,
there?
we know that.
Because he's Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah,
He's huge, and it's the Andre the Giant.
I think the Andre the Giant thing is the reason.
Yeah. I mean, think of a bigger basketball player than Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, that was
George
Harley Bowl.
He was huge. Did you see when he went face to face with the Big Show?
He was
full shoes are ridiculous.
He's like a mega refrigerator.
I couldn't believe how much taller he was than Show.
Right.
He had what looked to me like 4 inches on Show or 5 inches, and I think Show with the pro wrestling and stuff, his height has kind of gone down a little bit over the years. I remember when he was 25 and he was the WCW World Heavyweight Champ. He looked bigger then, so maybe he's sort of shrunk down a little bit, which can happen.
We all do.
Yeah, we all shrink a little bit. My grandma, she just got shorter and shorter every year. She was like 3'6" one year.
So Big Show's like your granny. Got it.
No, I don't like. And everyone hates on Big Show. Do we have any Big Show lovers, Big Show fans? What do you think, George? You a fan?
I mean, I like hearing him talk. I think he's good on the mic.
Yeah.
I'm not too shabby on like his in ring. I think. It's maybe it's toward his end of his career, but I mean, 5-10 years ago, even WCW, that guy was agile as hell,
doing drop kicks.
Yeah,
crazy.
What a maneuver!
What a maneuver!
And so we saw some really cool guys in this match. Like we said, Mark Henry, Kane, DDP, Big Show were sort of the last 4 to get all entrance music, and I thought that was an homage to like some of these guys are probably going to hang them up soon. A lot of rumors Mark Henry's going to retire. A lot of rumors Big Show's on that same, at least maybe borrowed time, so to speak.
Kane's been around for a while as well.
Yeah,
and by the way, Tatanka's been around forever.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? Tatanka's in the match?
That was random.
Hey, he was there.
So
He was
awesome.
working it.
I was a huge Tatanka mark when I was a kid, man.
And then he went
So
to
how
the
sad were you when he sold
corporation.
out?
Yeah.
Not only sold out, but he was accusing Lex Luger of like, dude, you're the one selling out this whole time.
Yeah.
I grabbed
What a
my
great
Tatanka
story.
figure and threw it up against the wall.
And I enjoyed Social Outcasts a lot.
Yeah.
This. They got to do their thing, including Bo Dallas doing a lap with all the Social Outcasts, about 30 seconds before they were all out of the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, some cool spots in this one. They did. I think they kind of got through the match really quickly. The first part of the match was all focused on Shaq and Show. They get eliminated. Then just kind of a huge schmoz. We end up with the winner from NXT, Baron Corbin. Sky, what do you think about Baron Corbin? Are you familiar with him? And
First time I ever saw him was on the NXT show with Austin Aries. So I don't know much about him. And what does this mean? Does this mean he's going to the main roster?
I don't know. See, like this is
Hell of a push, though.
I think he just gets
yeah.
that trophy and he gets to stand like with his arms folded. That's like that's his prize.
So, like, I thought Mark Henry should have won because he's from Texas and he deserves it.
Yeah.
And he should have his name on that trophy. Baron Corbin winning and eliminating Kane. If tomorrow on Raw, there's not a thing with, like, Baron Corbin walking around with that trophy and Kane, like, sets it on fire and then he starts carrying it around burnt for, like, the next program he has with Kane, it was pointless for him to win.
Yeah.
Because, like, he lost to Austin Aries and Austin Aries, like, kind of just, like, rolled him up real quick. and stole the victory.
Yeah.
But he still lost to Austin Aries. So why was he? Because usually they do like at Access they'll have like NXT Battle Royal. Whoever wins this Battle Royal gets to go into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So like they didn't mention that tonight. So I don't know if that happened earlier in the day. But I don't think he should have been in it, and I don't think he should have won it. Samoa Joe should have been in it.
Yep.
I think everyone would have went nuts for that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it all depends on where they're going to go from here with it. I mean, the first one was Cesaro, and we all know how that ended up turning out. And then Big Show was the second one. But Big Show is Big Show, so he didn't need that much
even
of a
when Big
push.
Show won it, it was like after a week, it was like forgotten about.
It's like the Slammies.
so-
It's like you're going to carry this for a week.
Yeah.
We're going to mention it a lot.
Yeah, I kind of
And
wish
then
there was
we're
some
gonna
sort
forget
of
all about it.
stipulation there that added something to it. But the match was cool. It was kind of just a fun match to have some things go on. I'm with you, man. Corbin, I don't get that one, but we'll move on because I don't want to get too deep into that. We have the People's Champion come out next with a flamethrower.
I thought it was a t-shirt gun.
We did too.
Yeah,
I was like,
so.
why is he going to shoot t-shirts?
Yeah.
Like, really? And then he
It's like-
started shooting flames, and I was like, oh, and you could see in the
Okay.
background them setting that The Rock name up. Like, you could see the stagehands, like, running away. And I'm sure, like, Vince on the headset's like, get them the hell out of the shot! You know? Like, oh, man.
Yeah, so everyone in the world thought it was a t-shirt gun, and then fire started spewing out of it. The awesome set direction from WWE had put a ROCK Rock sign in white on the right entrance left area, and he came out with the flamethrower and lit that on fire. It was awesome. Rock hits the ring, cuts the whole finally back gimmicks and all that's awesome, and then we hear the Wyatt's music hit, and 100,000 cell phones out of their pockets.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Was that the coolest thing?
And
It's always the
Were you
coolest
at
thing.
WrestleMania
It's like a
last
little
year?
slice
No.
of galaxy right there.
Yeah.
So at Mania last year when he came out, it wasn't dark yet,
Oh, I know. Yeah,
which
yeah.
ruined his entrance. Because
Oh,
the Scarecrow
yeah.
entrance would have been so much cooler if it was dark. So like
That's
this
true.
year when everyone's cell phones were up and it was dark, I'm like, see, that's what it should have looked like last year.
Yeah,
just
last year
needed
they were
like an
doing.
hour.
Yeah, they
They
did it
did
in Cali last year. It was really tough for logistics to get it done.
Yeah.
Even Undertaker came out last year in the sun.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was weird.
You know, luckily Gangrel
Daylight
wasn't booked because if Gangrel had been booked, it would have been really weird to see him out there. I gotta ask you, man, Rock in rare form or what?
One of the things I really enjoyed about this WrestleMania are the surprises. I thought they were legitimate surprises. Shawn Michaels coming out in gear. The Rock coming out, stripping down, and he's in gear, and he's going to have a match. We're not going to fight. We're going to have a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like I thought the surprises at this year's WrestleMania were better than I've actually seen in years, and I really dug it. I became a fan again. I liked it.
Yeah, and we got to talk about that. I mean, he did have a match. The Rock was on our card today. He wrestled at WrestleMania 32 for 6 seconds.
Yeah, with a rock
Eric
bottom
Rowan,
finisher.
check it off your bucket list.
Eric Rowan probably celebrating with a beer right now that he got to lose to The Rock in 6 seconds. I mean, I know everybody our age would love that opportunity. Rock Bottom's a match over. What do you guys think about the Wyatts being booked at WrestleMania this way? I want to get George's take, and I want to hear you too, James.
I mentioned something earlier, like first year you got John Cena, second year you got Undertaker, third year you got The Rock. Not a bad career to have, regardless of how you're booked or how if you're booked to lose. It's like that's still not bad to be kind of in that WrestleMania moment with those three legends. I don't know. I'm sure you can. I'm sure he's happy.
Absolutely, and producers telling us they turn on the AC. So for all the shininess that you guys have been seeing, if you're watching us live on YouTube, hopefully it'll cool off a little bit. Yeah,
I loved how Rock was. He was just telling everybody's business, or at least what he thought everybody's business was. Like, oh, you've been breastfed since you were 26.
Oh, that was the best
Oh
moment.
my god.
Like, oh,
Dude.
oh, look at you, eater of worlds, eater of hot pockets.
Yes, Eater of
That's
Hot Pockets was a
fantastic.
good line.
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel reference. So
James,
Oh, there you go,
I love Cracker Barrel.
me too.
James, you're shaking your head, man. I want to know what's going on in your head.
I hate
didn't
it
like the
so
segment?
bad
Yeah?
because like
I
they've
love
done
it- I love it when
nothing
you talk
but
about
like
this. Let's hear
put
it.
down the Wyatts. The Wyatts should be like your top like badass. Like under Brock Lesnar, like Bray Wyatt should be like up there.
Yeah,
And they've
he should be
done-
the next Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, and like when he didn't beat Undertaker, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, like that
Oh.
should have been like the passing the torch moment, but it didn't happen. All right, we'll see what's gonna happen. And then, like when Rock does like those lines and like telling him to eat hot pockets, everyone's gonna laugh,
Yeah.
but it does nothing for Bray Wyatt. and then he just beats the shit out of all the Wyatt's family, and it's like, well, where do they go from here?
Yeah, but nothing does nothing for Bray Wyatt. They haven't utilized him in any way, shape, or form that they actually could. He's so good. He cuts the right promo. He does the right things.
And
they just
you're talking about Bray
Wyatt.
Okay,
yeah. And they just like, I don't know. He's just chumming the water at this point. I don't understand
make a point on that.
Yeah,
actually,
please.
I think they are still getting a rub off of being in the ring at WrestleMania with The Rock telling them you're the real deal. You know, I think I don't want to undersell how important that really is. And the second point I would like to make actually is I believe he has time. He has time to grow. Roman Reigns, I think one of the problems the fans have with him was he was rushed along too quickly. And if you take your time with Bray Wyatt and get the fans to the point to where they're chomping at the bit for him to get that moment, get that push, become a top guy, then you have the Daniel Bryan effect where there's nothing that can stop it. And I believe he'll get there. It's just going to take some time. They're moving along slowly.
Although
but that's okay.
Although I agree with you, to play devil's advocate, I would say that there are those who would say Bray's been around for almost 4 years now on the main roster, and we're still seeing him get segments where Rock's making fun of him. Okay, I hear you, Jimbo. I was okay with it because I tend to think a little bit more like, you were in a segment with the biggest movie star in the world.
That's how I look at it, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, that doesn't matter. No one's going to remember that he said that you ate too much food or you were fat or whatever. Like, no one cares.
See, I think the only thing people are going to remember is that they said he ate too many Hot Pockets.
But I mean,
but you know, The Rock does that to Triple H.
But I like the fact that Bray just stood there. You know, he's not somebody who's just gonna like, oh, what that was a, you know, he just literally just stood there as if like, I'm not affected by whatever you're telling me.
Yeah, saying something like, you know, you got it all wrong, man. Like, just and what I thought was cool about him was that he like,
that wasn't bad.
I got to keep
going.
It was actually really good.
He kept his eye contact there, and he never was like, he never sold it like, oh, I'm getting frustrated. No, he just looked at him like, go ahead and talk your shit, bro. You know what I mean? And that's Bray Wyatt, like looking tough. So, you know, a lot of times I got slapped by Ryback on Monday Night Raw. I tried my best to like not look like a coward when I was doing it, you know, and so I probably didn't work, but yeah. So
fill it up.
Yeah, fill it up.
Although I will say, I know John Cena actually ended up coming out just for the sake of, I'm a big stat guy. I love statistics and pro wrestling. Just for the sake of not missing a WrestleMania, I just wish it would have been like a Rock and Cena against Strowman and Rowan in like a 10-second match.
That would have been cool.
You know, I don't know. Just for the sake of John Cena not missing a WrestleMania match, because you had Rock and Rowan in 6 seconds.
Well, we didn't really, talk about that. John Cena's music hits and comes down. How surprised were you, George?
Explodes.
Yeah. How surprised were you, George? Were you and was it worth that, or would you rather have seen them wait a few weeks and have them like surprise on Raw? Like, was it a perfect time for that, or too soon?
I mean, just for the sake of being WrestleMania, I think it was fine. If it was like a different pay-per-view, I think it could have waited. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine that John Cena came out. He had to come out. He's John Cena, for goodness sakes. He's still getting advertised all over the place. You got to have him at some point.
And Kia, I gotta get your thoughts on this. Like, basically, a really positive reaction from the fans for John Cena. It felt like they exploded.
John Cena. John Cena wins.
Yeah.
LOL.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reason I'm making the contention basically that John Cena is constantly getting mixed reactions, and I felt tonight it was very, very positive. Is that a new era for John Cena where he's just getting love all day?
Oh, well, they miss him. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't been around. We haven't seen him. What we've seen is that we've seen Shane, we've seen Undertaker. We've seen a whole lot of Dean Ambrose. We've been seeing him a lot, and this is. John Cena is such a face. Like, he's such a face, and we don't really have a pure face. I mean, even New Day, sure, they're face, but they're kind of heel. Yeah, they're unicorns. Yeah, so it's like when you have like this pure, it's like having Captain America's dropped by again. And it's like, this beautiful shining thing that is Captain America. Then yes, of course, there's going to be a huge pop.
Yeah. Just it really felt good to me that the fans appreciated Cena. Maybe missed him a little bit.
Kind of reminds me of Royal Rumble 2008 when MSG is like at times a brutal crowd, but he comes out as a surprise and everybody was just like, oh my god, it's John Cena. Like, this is awesome.
Wrestling fans want to give him the business all day long, and then it turns out as soon as he's gone, they're like, oh man, this guy, we miss him.
I feel like it's kind of part of his thing. It's like when Kurt Angle used to come out and the crowd would go, "You suck."
Even when he was a babyface,
everybody knows Kurt Angle didn't suck.
Yeah.
But it's their thing. So you boo John Cena because it's your thing. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you really dislike him. It's just part of what you do.
Yeah. I do like that there's really no middle ground. It's either you love Cena or you hate Cena.
That's good, though.
That's the good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Eva Marie.
Yeah.
You love her, you hate her.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, for Christian Cole, George Hermosa, Jimbo Slice, Markeia, and our very guest Scorpio, our very great guest Scorpio
didn't talk
Sky.
about the main event.
We got no. We're gonna get to. That's what I'm saying. we need to go into this main event right now.
Yeah.
This match had such a. Gosh, I think that people were really worried about this match. People were worried.
You mean the Thunderdome match?
Yeah, the Thunderdome match.
Or
yeah.
the Highlanders battle?
I read on Twitter that a lot of people left early.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like massive amounts of people were just leaving early.
Yeah.
That they didn't
Why?
even stay to see this match.
Is beating traffic that important?
You're not going to beat traffic there. You're stuck there for
Although there
at
were
least 2
areas,
hours.
there were areas where the parking lot looked empty in some places, which I thought was weird. Where did everybody
it was
park?
$60 to park there.
Dang, man,
What?
$60.
Wow.
$60 per car.
Someone's got to pay Shane's check.
Oh, man. Well, you
That
know,
big stage cost a lot of money.
there goes the merch.
I'm a
Give me a
big fan.
receipt.
I'm a big fan of production. I'm a big fan of presentation. I'm probably in the minority. I love Triple H's entrance.
I did too. I loved it too.
truly loved
Are you
it.
kidding?
And I loved
Yeah.
all of them, to be
It was
honest with you.
Stephanie
But
McMahon pulled a Tina Turner? You kidding me? I love that.
That was very well done.
Now I get what you mean.
She
with
was
the
rocking like,
Thunderdome
yeah.
comment.
Yeah,
I was just like, what is she talking about? Now it makes sense.
yeah, really cool entrance. You know, I thought it was awesome. I thought the match. When I talk about how people were worried about this match, George, I'm talking about how the people were worried that the establishment's vision of the way this match was going to go was going to not get over at all. You know, Reigns wins, which ultimately he did. He's our new WWE champion. But that the fans that go to WrestleMania tend to always be the most vocal ones, the ones who don't really go along with what you want them to. And I think the internet fans and the fans of WrestleMania, they don't like Roman Reigns yet. I think people are wanting, or don't want to be. People feel like Roman Reigns is being shoved down their throats, and tonight he won. And we got to get everyone's take on this. Kia, what'd you think?
Yeah, well, I felt like he got a really good response from, so that's why I'm surprised when James says that a whole lot of people, like, he stood there and he went, woo, and the crowd responded. It was hitting. The things that he was doing was hitting, and the match itself was good. It followed what it needed to follow. It checked off all the boxes. They were completely into it. His manager, Stephanie, was completely into it. The ref was completely into it. I don't understand why anyone would say that he was forced down anybody's throats with looking at this particular match. I know how it is with like the history of everything with it, but I thought this was a really good culmination for maybe people don't want him as their champion, but this was a good way to go about it.
Yeah, well, I think I would agree to disagree. What do you guys think about this? I mean, I felt like the reaction to his win was a little flat. Was it flat a little bit? People were like, yay, and then silence. I don't know.
I thought it was fine, especially after he speared Stephanie. I think after that moment, it's kind of like, okay, you know, I kind of like that spot.
That like his biggest reaction for being like the super
spearing a
baby
woman.
face was spearing a woman.
The same thing was with Nikki Bella, and people didn't really enjoy her until she started wailing on some Stephanie. So I would take gender out of the equation.
I mean, do you guys think that Roman would be better served as a heel?
Yes.
I was expecting like him to win the title, Rock to come out and like celebrate with him,
I thought
and
he
him
was
to
gonna-
take Rock's head off and be like, "This is my moment," and just be done.
Yeah, I want to get our special guest Scorpio Sky his view on is Roman Reigns the guy for the title right now? How did the match go in your mind? Did it go the way you wanted to? The reactions, were they flat like I said, or am I tripping? I mean,
I do think it was a little bit flat. I thought he should have come out first.
Okay.
I think with a spectacular entrance
Yeah.
like Triple H had, him coming out first and then Roman Reigns kind of just walking out.
that was an interesting
Set him up
choice,
for failure.
wasn't it? Yeah.
So you should have had. There's no reason why he couldn't have stood in the ring while Triple H did his whole thing, which was great. I loved it. I thought the match going into it would be solid. I wasn't expecting Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, but I thought, you know, Triple H knows how to work. Roman Reigns knows how to work. And I thought they did a good job. Bell to bell, they didn't have a ton of guys running in. You brought it up earlier with the Hell in a Cell. There wasn't a lot of run-ins on this WrestleMania, and I liked it. Guys just went in, they worked. And that's one thing I appreciated about the match. It might have been a little bit of flat. Maybe it's going to take a little bit more time with Roman Reigns. I would like to see them do some different things with him. Maybe him and John Cena go at it. And let's see who the crowd boos in that scenario.
I think for
That's
a lot
a
of us,
great point.
Yeah, go ahead, Jimbo.
I would love to see John Cena and Roman Reigns go at it. See really see who they hate more.
I mean, the universe might implode if that happens. I mean, I think people, when I talked about the booking of Roman Reigns and why the fans are a little upset, is that people feel like he's already getting Cena treatment a little bit. I think Roman Reigns is a star, right? He's got the look of a star. The spear, by the way, a lot of
Through
people
the
do
barricade?
Yeah, the spear through the barricade was
that
awesome.
man.
was great.
Whew.
Yeah, George, did you have any moments, mark out moments for this match that you can remember other than that spear through the barricade? What else
Aside
happened?
from the entrance, I mean, not too much. I mean, I'm not a Roman hater, as I mentioned on the SmackDown After Show. I mean, I think the guy looks like, if Cena looks like $1 million, I think Roman looks like $5 million. I mean, obviously this guy is a star. Again, I just think he'd be better served as a heel. I think there's more program to be done as a heel. I think him and Ambrose would have a good feud, especially as Roman as a heel. Him and Cena, I think, maybe SummerSlam, setting up for him and Rock, and maybe next year's WrestleMania. I just think there's more money to be made of him as a heel. He's too pretty to be liked by everyone,
Yeah, I think that's a consensus, is that his look is so sort of telenovela, right? That
Oh man, this poor man. So if he was less attractive,
then he'd be Bray Wyatt.
Oh come.
No, but even so, I think a lot of people need a nice solid heel run. The Rock had it. Triple H has had it in order for them to become an even better babyface.
Okay,
That's
now
true.
that he has the belt, maybe that changes him. Maybe that's the impetus. That's the catalyst that happens to have him go heel when things with like Jericho. Jericho's all ego now. So maybe he becomes all ego. Well, we don't know. Let's give him a chance with the belt. Longer than 5 minutes at least.
Well, let's just keep in mind, though, kid, he's a 3-time champion now within the last 6 months, and I think a lot of people trying to sell us this story that he's Daniel Bryan is a little far-fetched.
That they shouldn't do.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird for me, the build in this whole thing. I almost wish that there was a point, I said this on the Raw After Show a few weeks ago, that there should have been a point where Roman embraced the hate the way Cena did, where Cena's like, I love that you guys can all come here. If you want to boo me, boo me. That was cool. I wish Roman would talk about it more than just sort of ignoring the fact that half the fans don't like him. But his spear is the best spear in the business. It's the best since Goldberg, right? I mean, the way he delivers that thing. And any other takeaways from this match, Scorpio Sky?
Talking about his spear, I really like the way he doesn't do it all the time, though. He'll put his head right in your chest. And if you just think about that, imagine some guy that big just driving his head in your chest. I like the way he does that. We're going to have to see where it goes from here.
Yeah.
It's like you said, he's got the title now. We can't work backwards on how he should have been booked and how he should have been brought up. We can only go forward. Let's see what they do with him next.
Yeah. So we're kind of wrapping up our coverage for the WrestleMania 32 AfterBuzz After Show. Let's just go around the room like we said we would and talk about gear of the day. Who's your favorite gear, George Hermoza?
Charlotte looked gorgeous from top to bottom.
Yeah. Cool.
I
really like Kalisto's, and I really like Sasha Banks.
Okay.
Okay, really loved Charlotte's. Loved Becky's more. But then that's because I love steampunk. So I thought she was rocking it today.
Yeah, for me, number one gear of the day was Miz. We're rocking all gold. Scorpio Sky's birthday was yesterday. We hit the town in Pasadena, and you wore the all gold yesterday, which was awesome, and you rocked it well. Gear of the day for you, Sky?
Definitely Charlotte. Like I said, just the fact that it was part of Ric Flair's old robe to make that one. She hit the same pose he hit. I believe it was from the match with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah,
that robe.
24.
She hit the same pose, had the same pyro. Those are the moments you want to see.
And then one last thing to go around real quick, guys. Match of the night for you. Mark out moment of the night, whatever you want to say.
The mark out moment, and I mean, I marked the F out when Zack Ryder won. I was like, oh my God. But match of the night, I'm going to go with the women's match.
Okay.
Markout moment was definitely for Zack Ryder. Everyone I was around was like, did that just happen? Did you just squeak like that? Are you okay?
So you guys don't know, Jimbo Slices has been a massive Ryder fan for as long as I've known him, about 10 years.
I have the freaking headband. I have the fucking foam hands. I have it all. I have it all.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Okay, cool. And match of the night for you?
Probably that match, the IC title match.
All right. What about you, Key?
Yeah, it was all the Divas match for me.
No, they're not Divas anymore.
Sorry, because it's a Diva Evolution now. So the women's championship match was the one for me. And for those of you that know it, also Becky Lynch's trunks were so Gallifreyan. So I hope somebody got that out there. But no, the thing that really got me was Ric Flair holding on to Sasha's foot. I was screaming at the television set at that point because I was like, ooh, there's got to be some comeback with this. So yeah.
So for me, mark out moment of the night was Shane off the cage, match of the night, going to the IC title belt match. Sky?
Yeah, I've been racking back and forth between those two matches, the IC title and the women's title. I gotta call it a tie as far as match of the night. And mark out moment of the night, I gotta go Shawn Michaels in his gear, ripped, looking like he can still go.
Does that mean you were not a fan of Bret Hart?
Growing up, Bret Hart was my absolute favorite wrestler. And even when he was in his feud with Shawn, I didn't even like Shawn. I actually became a bigger fan of Shawn. I liked him before, but when he retired and then came back, I thought he was better than ever. But
Bret Hart, 2002-ish.
Yeah, it was about 2002. He came back from the back injury, and I thought he had probably the best match.
The weird brown pants.
Yeah, the brown pants.
The Earth colors, as he said.
The Survivor Series 02.
And I love how you just pay attention to everybody's gear, James.
Dude, it's something from like Christy Olsen, from like listening to Christy Olsen shows. I'm like, what's up with that?
You gotta pay attention.
No, that's great though. It's good.
You know what's funny is actually when I one of the times I met Bret Hart, I told him, I said, you're the reason I got into this business. And he said, "Don't blame that on me, brother."
He like brush his hair.
Nice.
That's a great story.
And he put the glasses on you, right?
Go get him, champ.
Great story. Great way to wrap up today's coverage. Let's go around the room and plug ourselves, where we will be, how people can find us. Start off with you, George Hermoza. You can find me on G Hermoza, GHERMOZA. I mean, if you want to keep this chat going, feel free to tweet us. Feel free to comment on the YouTubes.
Yeah, comment on the YouTube. Follow AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzzTV.com.
Yeah, but Twitter, Instagram, GHERMOZA. I'm sure we're all hoping we'll be in Orlando next year.
Yes.
Oh, I know. Hopefully. I will be.
Yep.
Definitely.
We'll see, right? Maria, help us out. Yeah. Jimbo, let's hear from you, buddy.
I want to take this time to thank Christian Rosenberg, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting here, and Stephen Lemieux and Phil Zvitek and all the people that work here at AfterBuzz for giving me the opportunity to do what I love and talk about wrestling.
Damn.
So thank you guys for all that.
We're getting real soft.
Yeah, man.
A tear in my eyes.
When Fandango wrestled Jericho, I went to AfterBuzz, did an AfterBuzz live show at Universal at John Lovett's Comedy Club, and I was like there as a fan.
Yeah.
So to be sitting on this panel right now, like 4 WrestleManias later, is really cool.
Yeah, so. Kia.
Awesome. You guys can follow me at Markeia McCarty. I'm on Instagram and I'm also on Twitter. And hey, tune in to WWE Raw tomorrow. It'll be me, Christian, and George, I believe.
And I'll be in the booth.
And James will be doing our engineering in the booth.
Monday Night Raw.
And then after that, for all my Sailor Moon people, Sailor Moon Crystal's back in season 3, and myself, Emma, and Megan will be doing that right after the WWE Raw.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Scorpio Sky, where can we find you, brother?
Instagram and Twitter at Scorpio Sky. You can like my Facebook page, Facebook.com/ScorpioSky.com. DOTCOM.
Any TV commercials or anything like that coming up? You're everywhere, man. What's going on?
I got a little something I'm working on here. I may be going on a date with a nice celebrity pretty soon, but we'll have to see. You guys got to follow me on social media for information on that.
There it is. Follow everybody, especially at AfterBuzz TV. Follow us individually. Tweet us. Let's keep this conversation as the night goes on. I got a long night ahead of me to text with all you guys. Follow me at XJin Cole, or check out PPW. There it is in the camera right there. PPW, Paragon Pro Wrestling. It's on Fight Network. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope our WrestleMania 32 coverage was good. Hope it was interesting. We'll see you next year at WrestleMania, or this Monday on Raw. Thanks so much. Have a good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.